Let's jump right into this explainer and look at the human body for what it truly is. It's the ultimate, highly complex biological machine. You know, every single second, mostly without us even noticing, your musculoskeletal system, the chassis, hinges, and engines, is performing absolute feats of engineering just to let you stand, run, and, well, exist.
But hey, even the greatest engineering marvels aren't immune to wear and tear, right? Think about this. 1 in 3 Australians experiences a breakdown in this exact system, dealing with things like arthritis, osteoporosis, or chronic back pain. That is a massive number, and it really highlights exactly why we've got to understand how to maintain our own physical machinery.
So here is the blueprint for our machine today. Number 1, the human body's framework. 2, bones, the structural chassis. 3, joints, connecting the pieces. 4, muscles, engines of movement. 5, when the machine breaks down. And 6, routine maintenance and care.
Let's start with Section 1, the human body's framework.
Before we look at the major parts, we really need to understand the biological glue and the shock absorbers. Cartilage is that vital cushioning that keeps your bones from grinding against each other. Ligaments, they're like high-tensile tie-downs keeping your joints incredibly stable. And tendons are those thick, fibrous cables that literally attach your muscle engines to the bone. Without these binding elements, the whole machine would literally fall apart.
Moving right along to Section 2, bones, the structural chassis.
206. That is the exact number of living, adapting bones making up your internal scaffolding. They hold you upright, they give you your shape, and they act as a super tough protective shell for your vital components, like your heart and liver. But, you know, bones aren't just dry sticks or static scaffolding like a lot of people think. They are highly dynamic living tissues. Built from a flexible collagen framework and then hardened by calcium phosphate, they are constantly under construction. Through this awesome process called remodeling, your cells actually continually replace damaged tissue with brand new bone. Oh, and get this. Deep inside the marrow is literally a 24/7 factory churning out your red blood cells.
And right at the very center of this chassis is your spine. It's a stack of 33 individual vertebrae separated by these brilliant shock-absorbing discs. It is incredibly multifunctional. It supports your weight while acting as a highly secure conduit for your nervous system. Seriously, every single signal traveling from your brain to your body runs right down through this central support beam.
Now for Section 3, joints, connecting the pieces.
Here, form perfectly matches function across 3 distinct types of joints. First, you've got synovial joints in your arms and legs. These give you the most mobility, operating in a cavity filled with this thick, lubricating synovial fluid. Next up are cartilaginous joints, found in your spine, pelvis, and ribs. These prioritize stability, directly connected by cartilage with just a little bit of flex. And finally, fibrous joints. These allow zero movement. They're held by strong connective tissue and completely locked tight to protect critical systems, kind of like how the plates of your skull safeguard your brain.
All right, let's jump to Section 4, muscles, engines of movement. 600 plus. To drive that chassis we just talked about, your body utilizes over 600 individual skeletal muscles. These biological motors do way more than just pull on your bones to move you around. They actually act as your active suspension to maintain your posture, and they even generate heat to keep your core temperature perfectly stable.
So, think of your voluntary or skeletal muscles like a manual transmission that you consciously control. You tell your arm to bend, the muscles contract, and bam, movement happens. Fascinatingly enough, they even act as fuel tanks, taking up blood glucose to store as energy. On the flip side, your involuntary smooth and cardiac muscles are basically on automatic pilot. You literally never have to think about them for them to do their life-saving background work.
Working completely behind the scenes, your smooth muscles are quietly doing their thing right now. They're digesting food in your intestines and regulating your blood pressure by contracting your blood vessels. And then, well, there's the ultimate automated engine, the heart. Made entirely of specialized cardiac muscle, it beats rhythmically thanks to its very own inbuilt electrical pacemaker called the sinoatrial node. It never stops, and you never even have to turn the key.
Which brings us to Section 5, when the machine breaks down.
When the framework falters, the resulting structural issues can be pretty severe. For instance, bone density drops with osteoporosis, which makes fractures highly likely, while a lack of vitamin D in childhood can actually cause rickets. And in the joints, those hinges can physically wear down over time, resulting in osteoarthritis. Or the system can simply glitch out. Take rheumatoid arthritis, where the body actually attacks its own joint lining, or gout, where these incredibly painful uric acid crystals form directly inside the hinge itself. Ouch!
Of course, the engines break down too. We have all felt acute issues like strains, those overstretched or torn muscle fibers, or those sudden highly painful muscle cramps. But there are also chronic, long-term breakdowns. Fibromyalgia, for example, causes widespread pain and severe fatigue. And naturally, as we age, we all eventually face sarcopenia, which is just the gradual, age-related loss of muscle mass and power.
So, if your machine is making a funny noise, feeling stiff, or causing you pain, please don't ignore the check engine light. Just like taking a car to a mechanic, you've got to consult the experts, whether that's a doctor, a physiotherapist, a rheumatologist, or a sports medicine physician. They can give you a proper diagnostic check and get you on the right treatment plan.
And finally, Section 6, Routine Maintenance and Care. Look, keeping your musculoskeletal system in peak condition requires daily, proactive maintenance. First off, you have to fuel it correctly. Eat a diet rich in calcium and make sure you get enough sunshine for that essential vitamin D. Second, run the engines. Live an active lifestyle. High-impact, weight-bearing activities actually stress the bones in a really good way, reinforcing their density. And finally, prevent unnecessary wear and tear. Maintain a healthy weight to reduce the load on your hinges, limit your alcohol intake, and completely avoid smoking, because that literally degrades your body's ability to repair itself.
Your body is just an astonishing, deeply interconnected machine. From the 206 rigid bones in your chassis to the over 600 muscular engines driving you forward, it is an absolute masterpiece of biological engineering. But as we've seen, no machine runs perfectly forever without an active owner. So I'll leave you with this question. What step will you take today to ensure your machinery keeps running strong for decades to come?